recipes. Okay, and he's Nana's brother-in-law. And he's the owner.
Teacher in experimental.
Yes, Nana, as you know, is a teacher at our school. Okay, her husband's brother is the owner here.
Λοιπόν, να σου πω ότι.
Να εξηγήσουμε πρώτα αυτό τι είναι.
Θα το πούμε. Να σου πω όμως ότι ασχολούμαι με αυτό. Δηλαδή ότι το μαγαζί μας είναι από το 1935 και είναι από τον παππού μου. Δηλαδή έχει πάρει τη γνώση.
The bakery here first opened in 1935 and it belonged to his grandfather, to Babu,
Yes.
to his grandfather. So he's the third generation taking over the business. And yes, and his grandfather was actually from Asia Minor. So they tend to have great recipes, and they brought everything that they knew here, and we have everything to taste today.
That's all. Λοιπόν, ξεκινάμε να σας παρουσιάσω λίγο αυτό πριν ξεκινήσουμε για να αρχίσουμε ζυμώνουμε. Σήμερα είχαμε μία παραγγελία για κάποιο σύλλογο και ήθιστε οι διάφοροι σύλλογοι όταν γιορτάζουν την πρωτοχρονιά να φτιάχνουν ένα γλύκισμα, το οποίο μετά το μοιράζουν στον κόσμο.
Yes, yes. Λοιπόν, before we start with everything else, we would like to present this special bread. They make it for the beginning of the new year. Usually a group of people, σύλλογος κόλλησα, πώς το λένε, a club, special clubs, and to start the new year and to have full prosperity and health, they tend to bake this bread and then they cut it and they give it to each person in the club, the members.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Λοιπόν, αυτό
θέλει. Ζάχαρη συνήθως.
Ναι, έχει μέσα.
Yes. And it is decorated with almonds. It's very beautiful. Okay, very tasty.
Ωραία. Λοιπόν, τώρα να ξεκινήσουμε με τα χαρούπια.
Okay, now we're going to make a different kind of bread that uses harupi. Harupi.
Καζούμπα.
Yes.
Θα περιμένω να μου λες για να πω, για να μην τρέχω εγώ.
Ωραία. Λοιπόν, να πούμε ότι αυτό το συλλέγουμε τον καρπό από το δέντρο, μετά τον αφυδατώνουμε και μετά τον τρίβουμε για να πάρει αυτή τη μορφή. Το πηγαίνουμε στο μήλο για να πάρει αυτή τη μορφή.
Και ό,τι άλλο μου είπες, ότι μοιάζει με την
Ναι.
This special bean comes from a tree that grows in Cyprus. Okay.
Yes.
It looks like an almond tree, and the flowers also look like an almond tree. Now they collect this and they put it in the oven to get all the juices and to dry it out, to make it dry. Okay, and then they grate it in the mill and they get this powder. They get this powder. Okay, and it's called harupi in Greek. And also the Italian people told me that they use it and they call it caruba. And the Spanish people also told me they use it and they call it alcaroba. Από τις ιδιότητες θέλεις?
Ναι, βεβαίως.
Λοιπόν, Thodori earlier told me that in the 1940s during the war, because people were hungry, they didn't have a lot of food to eat, they used this to make flour, and also it's very nutritious. It has lots of vitamins. It has iron, the complex B vitamins, all the vitamins, and many more metals very good for our health. Τι άλλο μου είπε? Ναι, protein, εντάξει. Also, the Spanish people told me nowadays they use it for animal food, but in the old days the people also used it for food and for medical purposes as well. And Thodori also told me that even today they do use it for medical purposes. Also, they make a drink, a special drink from this, like tell you all the ingredients that he will use for this special bread.
Αλεύρι ολικής δίνηκε.
Now he's going to mix the two different flours with this yeast, which is a little bit sour, a little bit, because it is homemade yeast. And to help the bread rise, they use this type of yeast, which is actually it's like that yeast, which is dehydrated. They take all the water, let's say, out. Okay, so one small piece like this, it's like one piece like this. It's the same thing,
Yes.
same amount, same percentage.
So, να το ρίξουμε στο μέσα.
Okay, so we'll use both types of yeast. Crumble it in.
Να πούμε γι' αυτό, έχουμε βάλει το
everybody
diventato
see?
marrone.
He added the raisins together with the brandy, the liquid. Now it needs some work. It doesn't happen by itself. You have to have strong arms.
Ναι, μόνο που εμείς τώρα
Ναι.
δεν ζυμώνουμε το χέρι.
Yes, of course. They don't do this by hand every
Αυτό το
day.
κάνουμε μόνο για εσάς.
They do it for our purposes to see how it was done, and they use the machine back here. He feels like a surgeon right now.
Φέρουμε λίγο αλεύρι, λίγο όμως, φέρ' το εδώ από εδώ.
And white flour, regular white flour.
Αυτό.
White flour.
Ωραία, φλάρα. Λοιπόν, τώρα, αυτό είναι το προζύμι που λέγαμε.
And this is the yeast as we used before.
Ωραία. Λοιπόν, το κάναμε το λακκουβάκι
Okay.
μας εδώ.
He mixed all the flours and made a little hole in the middle.
Yes.
Now, he will add the yeast in the middle, in the center. A little yeast to make it rise faster. This type of yeast. Crumbled it in.
Μέλι,
Honey,
με νερό.
diluted in water, is in the pot. Honey, diluted in water. You add that to the mixture, the flour. Honey,
Miele.
and water, mix.
Miele.
Niente.
Miele. Perché dice miele?
Miele e acqua.
Honey. Melli drink.
Belli. In Italy miele.
Miele. Okay, so again he needs to work the yeast
Μέχρι
with
να
the
γίνει ένας
water,
ωραίος χυλός.
okay, to dilute it. Liquid inside a jar with liquid that has water, salt, oregano, water, and oil. Yes, to preserve the olives. Yes, yes. Okay, also they don't use olive oil to preserve the olives. They use sunflower oil.
This. Okay. Απαλά, soft. Okay, soft.
Και μετά πώς θα το βγάλουμε από εδώ. Μαρίνα, δεν είναι ωραία, ξαναβλάψει. Τόσο πολύ. Έτσι. Περίμενε. Τώρα τι κάνει, τώρα τι κάνει. Ορίστε. Για κοίτα μέχρι εκεί. Πρέπει να είναι ίσου μεγέθους.
Se benedico adesso.
Eh?
Se benedico.